The first rule of life, shit happens. Rule number 2, shit happens every day. Nothing great happens by accident. It's always by creating a strategy, training to the strategy, implementing the strategy, measuring the strategy, and then revising the strategy, because nothing lasts, no good strategy lasts forever.
Hey, Nicole.
Hi, Ronit.
How exciting it is for today's episode.
I know, I'm so stoked. I've been waiting for us to interview these two for a long time. They're such good friends of ours.
They are such good friends and such a great leaders and go-givers in our industry.
I know. We got to hear some incredible stories today just from
And
them getting prepared for an amazing show.
yeah, and so for everyone who's tuning in, it's a Profitable Life podcast. This is not just about making shitload of money, but it's how to enjoy the time behind making that kind of money. All the good and the bad and the ugly that it takes to really propel and get through so you can scale, so you can grow, so you can spend some really good amount of time, be healthy, uh, have a really good mindset about things, even through times when they don't feel that they're easy. So today, I'm super excited because Robert Reed, the founder of Ergo Research, which is the leading name of ergonomic styling tools in our industry, he's going to be sharing with us what does it take to have a dynamic, family-owned business, and what are the things that helped him through the years that he's been building a company, how he built it through the good and bad. There 3 times they almost had to close shop, and even twice they did. And with him, Brock Goldberg, who was working at Nordstrom at one point, but it's been their chief marketing officers of Ergo.
I know. It's so amazing just seeing that relationship and feeling that energy between the two of them. It's really special to me because it reminds me a lot of our story, Ronit, which we've probably told on 100 different episodes. But they're really two powerhouses together. They don't let ego get in the way of, their growth, and they give back so much to our industry. They're going to be sharing something really exciting at the end of the episode that you guys are going to want to hear. But yeah, I mean, listen, Robert's been in the industry with 40 years of experience. He's visited probably close to 40,000 salons. I think it was 35,000 salons around the world. So he's had a huge reach, huge influence, the creator of the art of the blow dry. The reason that Ergo was born was because of the stylists, right? Like to answer the call of how can they make life simpler and better and just easier for them, right? They've done a ton of research in creating their brushes and their tools. So, his work is just deeply rooted in giving back. And it's
Yeah,
what's likely attracted Brock, right? I
yeah,
mean, he's
yeah.
grown so much. He shares, deeply personal
Same
messages,
mission.
stories, and yeah, and so they're so deeply rooted together. I mean, they've known each other for, did they say 14 years, been working together. So there's a ton of nuggets from them in this episode. You're going to get a lot of acronyms. We
A lot
love
of acronyms
acronyms.
and a lot of technical. What does it take to build relationship between leadership and staff members? What does it take to build a really good team? And how to anticipate and what to actually have when financially times could be rough in uncertainty time, and not like anything. And in uncertain times, you can make your certainty. So I'm super excited about bringing them. And for anyone here that has been coming and listening to our podcast and yet not to subscribe, please sign up, subscribe to us, because the more you subscribe, the more we are able to bring you better and better and better and better episode with some great people. And if there's at that point you want something really specific and you wanted to listen to something or learn about something, we would love to share this with you and share that with us. So let's go, Nicole.
Let's go. Let's grow, Ronnie.
Perfect. Wow, it's so great to have you guys here. Robert and Barack, I've been waiting for this day when the two of you are going to be on this podcast. And so, welcome. And I'm super excited to see the two of you.
Thank you. While we may be far away from you physically, we're always right next to you and behind you and in your heart.
Oh, that sounds so great. Well, thank you for both of you for being here today. And I'd love to let everybody know that we have a really special guest here today. And what we're going to be talking today about is what does it take to build a company, how you build a company, what mistakes we should avoid, what are the things that you think you avoid, but are out of our control, and what do you do when things like this happen? But more excited I am to talk about is the dynamic of having a family owned business because as we know, um, the dynamics is totally different than if it was not so family owned business. So before we dive into your success today, Robert, I want you to take us back to your most challenging moments in business, that point where everything seems to be falling apart. What was happening? How did it feel? And what was the unexpected pivot point that changed everything for you?
Not so hard for me to remember 16 years ago in 2009 when the world's economy seemed to go into the toilet. In a span of less than 30 days, every one of the family owned and personally vetted factories that produced our tools filed some form of bankruptcy, all within 30 days. We had recently moved into a new building and we found ourselves with an empty building because we had no resources. We had
Mm.
absolutely nothing to sell, but fortunately, having planned for some type of calamity in the future, we were financially strong enough to weather a period that allowed us to rethink, repurpose what we did and who we did it with. And we reinvented ourselves. We've gone from doing business with family owned businesses in traditional distribution, some legendary names that during this time period all got rolled up into the L'Oreal world and the Sally Beauty Supply world with Salon Centric and um, anyway, so they all got purchased. And so there was an opportunity and a need for us to rethink who we did business with, how we did it, and what we were going to offer to them. So I began to re-examine our purpose was in serving all hairdressers with tools that allowed them to perform their work with less wear and tear on their body, giving them more enjoyment and leading to a longer lasting career. So
So, starting, Robert, when you were actually at that pivot point, could you talk a little bit more about what were you running before that? Like, what was your business before that? And what did you transition to?
we were selling a variety of the highest quality professional styling tools, including brushes and dryers and irons and scissors to family owned distribution companies who would offer us to their best customers. Because of the failure, the bankruptcies all around us, and the cessation of having any resources to purchase and distribute, it was scary as shit, I can tell you.
Yeah, I
So
bet.
all of a sudden, it looked like doomsday, and it afforded, that kind of fear. I've learned can afford you some really clear thinking. So at that time, over a period of 18 months, we put Ergo to sleep, and I had an empty building. We transitioned all of our employees to other companies. So it was
Mhm.
me, along with my wife, sitting, in two different locations. She in our home where we started our business, and me in our warehouse all by myself, just thinking about what our purpose could be and how to make it a real change in serving people to a higher level. So I began to think about our roots, which are ergonomics, and started to think about the most debilitating aspect of hairdressing, which is blow drying. And then around that, started to think about ways to improve the tools that we had offered in the future. I visited factories, took a look at components, spoke to engineers, and conceived a different type of brush that had not been thought of before, and started to think about we not only provide great tools at Ergo, we believe in the mastery of the tools. So fundamentally, that means using it in a different way. So I conceived the art of the blow dry, which is a deep dive into an ergonomic approach of finishing, referred to all my older friends at Sassoon, where I had the honor of working, asked them where the thinking of a blow dry begins, and we began to evolve from that. About 12 months later, we had 3 hairbrushes, a blow dryer, and a flat iron, and I started to knock on doors again.
Now, this episode is sponsored by Salon Cadence, the only global advisory network helping salon and spa and med spa CEOs scale to 7 and 8 figures without a burnout. This is not a do-it-yourself program. This is do it with you and for you. From profit-first system to team-run leadership. First, we fix the numbers, then we create the wealth, then we focus on CEO mindset, and we build the process with your team to give you the ultimate freedom to become the true CEO and visionary you are. We have helped thousands grow widely successful for freedom-driven companies in beauty, wellness, and regenerative medicine. If you're ready to grow, scale, and live a wealthy life, visit saloncadence.com. Now, one of the most important things that you can invest in and not do it yourself, I highly recommend mysalonbooks.com. Salon owners that are tired of never knowing if you're actually profitable or where your money is going, on what your money is doing for you or against you. The team at My Salon Books takes the stress off your plate. They are specialized in salon booking, providing real-time insight and financial clarity so you can focus on what you do best, running a thriving salon. Here at Salon Cadence, we recommend mysalonbooks.com. It is the only bookkeeping management that utilizes the profit first the right way. So go to mysalonbooks.com to learn more and get free evaluation of your own books.
So you literally went from selling many products to anyone that could use you back to really focus on and niche your products. So literally a brush, that was the vision. It's like, so what were the thinking behind it? Like to go from everything to very narrow. What was the thinking behind that?
Well, the formation of Ergo 31 years ago this year was in serving hairdressers. Thank you. It's great. I wish I was 31, but the company began 31 years ago. Was to serve hairdressers with a different level of tools. Many of my friends had told me they were in pain after a day of creating beauty. So I began to explore this field of ergonomics. That's a word that's tossed around a lot today, but it fundamentally means the relationship of yourself, your body, your tools in your workplace as it relates to hairdressing. So yes, I began thinking about how we could make a brush more efficient, how we could make a brush feel better in the hands. We learned a lot from micro hand surgeons about what it's like to grip tools all day. Everything about hairdressing is about picking up and gripping something. So we learned about the impact of the hand and developing this concept of a slightly longer barrel allowed the thought of taking slightly wider sections and finishing slightly faster. The concept of our silicone handles were based upon what we learned from micro hand surgeons about how you grip things. And if you're gripping a hard tool and your hands are wet or slippery, subconsciously you grip it more firmly, which can contribute to tendinitis, which is the number one injury for hairdressers. So we just began to think, we often think backwards here at Ergo to the end result and then determining all the steps necessary to get there.
Okay. And thank you for going through this, because I think it's important. Now, a lot of people using, when their go-to market, their vision is one thing. And I want to just take that as an example for everyone out there, that when you open a salon or you open a spa or you open a med spa or whatever you open, your vision is, let me serve everyone. And there is no really uniqueness to it. It's just serving everyone. But you guys went so narrow. Do you feel by going narrow and specializing in the idea of serving a hairdresser with a brush and not a million of other products, did that propel you to grow faster? And did that propel you to earn better trust because your mission behind it?
Being that focused allowed us to learn more deeply. We really learned that in finishing, most finishing is taught through demonstration. And in speaking to audiences, when you present something, everyone hears it, sees it, maybe even interprets it differently. So by speaking to hairdressers about the focus on finishing, it allowed us also to learn some of the other needs. One of the greatest challenges for business owners is ensuring an excellent, consistent outcome for every guest. But in finishing, if everyone is employing a different method, it's not really a discipline that can be scaled in a salon and duplicated for everyone to have that great outcome. So that's the success of our Art of the Blow Dry education program.
Before we talk a little bit more, getting into that success, you mentioned to me that obviously 2009 was one of the toughest year, and I totally agree with you. But yet, with the 2009 being the toughest year and scariest as shit year, it allow you to be born again. It allow you to become more successful later on. And I love that, because every time we have most extreme and uncertain moments, it's amazing how it just literally give you the opportunity to do things differently and better and pivot and reborn, if I may say those words. Now, a few years later, if I'm taking us to 2020, there was another big challenge over there. Do you mind sharing what happened in 2020?
Beginning in 2020 at the Long Beach Hair Show, ISSE show.
That's when you and I don't know if you remember, and I know it sounds terrible, 2020, I had COVID at that time, did not know it. And I think I was the first one who got everybody sick.
Oh no, were you patient X? What is this?
I remember coming to you and hugging you and kissing you, and that was the second day, Robert. But that day I got on a plane and went back home because I just didn't feel good, and it wasn't a regular cold. I literally didn't feel good. So, are you talking about that time?
Yeah.
Oh no.
About that, but I didn't know that, Ronit, you became a super spreader.
I was the super spreader.
The first one, maybe.
So we had the most phenomenal ISSE. The team just ripped it up. We just started to get our team together and we were operating on all cylinders. We had just such a jam in our space because people can always feel, some ergo love. And then shortly after the show, we learned about the country shutting down.
Yeah.
We had to completely rethink how we were going to feed ourselves. So fortunately, this gentleman here Brock Goldberg, our chief
We're
marketing
talking
officer.
about Barack for any one of you who is in the car or listening to it late at night. We have Robert here, Reed here, and of course Barack. And Barack has been for a long time your marketing VP, chief of staff. So I'd love to hear what you have to say about Barack now, that handsome guy sitting next to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Brock had been encouraging us and readying us to create and update our website to allow us to have a professional portal, as well as to serve consumers who sometimes sat in a chair, had an ergo experience with one of our brushes, but the salon didn't offer them for take home. And so they wanted to purchase from us. Prior to January 2020, if a consumer or a professional wanted to make a purchase from us, they would call our toll-free number. And they would be served by a human being. And it was, of course, very personal, but very laborious. So Brock had been preparing us to scale by having our website be consumer focused with a professional portal. And for a period of February, March, April, instead of twiddling our thumbs, we thought about our next growth strategy, and it happened to be in making that portal as friendly to the professional as possible, ensuring that their guests would never learn what they pay for something, because it requires credentials to be accepted to have a pro account.
Yeah, and this was such a scary time, right? The country shut down. The phones are stopped ringing. We don't know, like Robert said, we don't know how we're going to make the next dollar. And we had plans to launch this towards the middle to the end of the year. But when everything shut down, we talked internally, like, we got to turn this on. And it was a saving grace for us at that moment. And then it allowed us to scale to where we're at today by starting that process, going completely digital in that sense. And now many steps to get to where we are now.
Now we're digital and personal.
Yeah, very,
Right?
very personal.
Definitely.
I always say this, what any company should pride themselves most on is their customer service. You have to have top tier quality customer service. Yes, you have to have good products, but if you don't have good customer service, I'm sorry, you don't have a good business.
And so going back to 2020 and for that new, again, you had to do something different in order to compensate for the fact that the whole country was shut down, especially California. And so you went, Long Beach was the greatest show. Did you lose all the orders that you had in that show? No, you kept it, right? I mean,
Carrie, so
okay, great. And then the whole country shut down. So and you couldn't manufacture your brushes, right? That was like that time where everything was closed around the world, so you couldn't really manufacture those brushes as well. So what was the pivot point? At this point, do you ever feel, or did you ever felt, whether it was 29 or 2020, that shit, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't know what to do.
Well, that's a good question. Of course, you feel a lot of dismay and wonderment about how am I going to get out of this. But fortunately, our entire team are contributors to the company's present and future. So by thinking collectively, we're a lot smarter than individually. And while I had, at that time, 40 years in the industry, I needed really a different perspective. And that's what Brock and the rest of the team brought to us. So we got out of that tunnel and moved forward.
yeah, I think in those moments you can, like you said, go to bed, go to sleep, not get out of bed, or you rise to the occasion and you pivot. I mean, you have to change to grow. It's so important. In those moments, you'll find out what you're made of. So in that moment, we hunkered down and kept on pushing. And we've been through that many times throughout the years, 2009, 2020, 2024, and many other things. And that's just the challenges of being a human and, being in business.
So for everyone who's listening to us right now, these could be in tough times for us. a lot of uncertainty around us right now. And economy could be shifting very quick on us right now. So to prevent things from happening, looking at the future, knowing that we have been here before and we're going to rise through the occasion, what would you recommend for anyone who's going through financial difficulties or any kind of a hardship right now in their businesses? What did you do to propel and get through it? And what do you recommend for anyone to do right now that is going through the fear, through I just don't want to get out of bed. This is really tough. I'm so sick of it. All of these fears that come to us.
All right, let me speak to this first and then ask Brock to participate. But
I love that. Yeah.
I share with my team a lot of things I've learned from my older brother, and one of them is that there's 3 rules of life. The first rule of life, pardon me to some of your audience, but it's shit happens. Rule number 2 is shit happens every day. And rule number 3 is you have to deal with the shit. So knowing.
Can I add rule number 4?
Sure.
Get shit done.
Okay.
Love it.
All right, let's continue, everyone.
In knowing that, I've learned from my conservative thinking wife and financially conservative wife that it's always good to put something away for a rainy day. We just didn't know that it was going to thunderstorm for months and months and months. So when 2009 happened, we were financially very healthy and we were able to weather the storm. When 2020 happened, we were financially sound. And one of the first things I shared with my team is everyone is safe here. So we've got enough set aside for us to be creative and progressive in our thinking. This is an opportunity for us to become stronger. So don't worry about getting a check because we're ready for this. And that served us well for another calamity that happened last year. But, it's always 3 rules of life. And then I also shared the 6 Ps. Prior planning prevents piss poor performance. So because we know things are going to happen, we need to be prepared for them. We need to always understand if this happens, what we would do. And then you find out at that moment if you're ready for it.
Sounds great, Robert. I do agree. Love to hear if you guys have tactical advice for anyone who's going through it. Maybe you, Barak, of what are the things that we can do to get through financial difficulties?
Well, I'd like to piggyback at the start of this conversation. I think before we went on, you said it's okay to get a little personal. I'll share a little bit about my life.
I'd love that.
For sure. So you asked, when things get hard, what can you do to make sure that, you're laying in bed, you're so stressed out, you just don't know what to do. In 2023, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And in that moment, I thought my life was over. I thought everything I had worked for, I thought everything I've done and who I am as a person, it was done. And at that moment, I was very, very scared. But what did I do? I leaned on my family, I leaned on my friends, and I did a lot of research. But then the next step I did is I started putting in the work. I restructured my diet, I restructured my health, my protocols, everything that I was as a human being to figure a way to kind of get through this. Can't get out of it, but how do I get through it? Flash forward 2-3 years later, I am the healthiest that I've ever been. I feel the best that I have ever been. And I am excited for things. And I know that's hard for maybe some people that are listening that might be dealing with the same thing that I personally dealt with. But you can use that towards many other things in your life. So if it's business, when times are getting hard, what are you going to do? Are you going to go into the blankets? Are you going to, shut yourself off from the world? Or are you going to figure it out step by step and go through it? Because you're not going to get over it, but you got to go through it. Does that make sense?
100%. And thanks for sharing with us. We do have a lot of clients, as we know, that do go through, that have MS
Yes.
and other challenges. And so I did not know that about you. I would love to know, what did you choose, or what did you do differently in your diet, and what did you do, in terms of putting the work,
Yeah.
not just mentally, but just the actual tactic that allow you to be the healthiest person right now.
Yeah, for sure. So it started off what I was putting inside of my body. So the foods that I was eating. Number one, a lot of the foods that we consume on a day-to-day basis, a lot of them are not the best for people with MS. So you have to be very strict and understand what is good and what is bad, and it's a trial effort. One of the best doctors, Dr. Terry Walls, I read her book. She had stage 2 progressive MS, and she couldn't even walk. She would literally be wheelchair bound. After 3 years of doing these simple things, she now rides a bike 10 miles to work and 10 miles home. So number one is restructuring my diet, the things that I put in. Number two, sleep. It is by far the most important thing that we can do. It's where we recharge. I know it can be very hard for people with MS because you're in pain. Some of the most painful times of my day are through the night, but you have to find different things, wind down, maybe supplementation, whatever it is, you'll figure it out if you want to put in the effort to it. Next is working out. I've become very just all in on taking care of my body. So every single morning now I wake up at 5:45 in the morning. I get to the gym by like 6:30, 6:45. I work out for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then that's how I start every single day.
And Barak, what do you do in terms of your exercise routine? Because you're about an hour to 2 hours, you said, at the gym.
Yeah.
So what do you do? What do you do?
In the beginning, it was a lot of just like HIIT exercises, things to just get my cardio going, getting me moving as much as possible. The hardest time of day for someone with MS is usually in the morning, getting out of bed. So it's just getting your body moving. But now that I got to a position where I'm at now, I do a lot of muscle training. So back and bis, chest and all of those types of things. And you can't skip the legs. And another thing that I started doing is I got a sauna and a cold plunge. I know that's hard for some people to be able to afford, but it helps out tremendously. If you can't afford a cold plunge, get ice, put it in your bathtub, do whatever you can to just get that cold water immersion. It is.
Oh, and so what kind of a cold plunge bath did you get? Is that like hooked to an ice maker? Tell us about it.
No, it's a brand called Plunge, and there is a cooling machine that's set up to it, so it keeps the water between 37 to 55 degrees. I keep it about 48, 50 degrees. Some people like it a lot colder, but that's good for me because I like going in the sauna at 194 for 20 minutes and then getting into the cold plunge for 3 minutes.
Is it a hot sauna or is it a dry sauna?
It's a dry sauna, yeah. Stone.
Got it.
It's fantastic. It's incredible.
Oh, totally. I think for anyone who, even if they don't have MS, and if we're at it and we're talking about prevention and making sure to keep your mindset at positive, I think the routine of what you have is a preventive and keeps people dealing with anything in a much better way.
For sure. For sure. And so it's just kind of like piggyback. Before 2023, I was never doing this. I never worked out. I didn't take care of my body. I was drinking, having fun. I didn't think. But then when you're faced with something that's very challenging, it's a medical thing, it's something in business, whatever it is, how are you going to react to it? Are you going to allow it to consume you, or are you going to take the time to do the research, the effort to find a way to get through it?
So Brock, what do you do on the days? Because I mean, it seems like you've been very consistent. You've taken this very seriously. You've done a ton of research. You didn't let it slow you down at all. But there has to be a day that you wake up and that bed is just a little too comfy-wumpy. And you're like, man, I'm having that 5:45 alarm is going off and I just don't want to get out of bed. What is it that comes to mind? What are you telling yourself, or what action do you do to push through to get yourself out of bed and to remind yourself to take care of yourself? Because it is about consistency and showing up for yourself. But I'll tell you what, something that's really hard is to prioritize yourself. I mean, you were out there, you said, having a good time, socializing, burning the candle at both ends
Yes.
at one point in your life.
Yeah.
And then you had to choose yourself. And so what do you do? What do you do whenever you face that, where you're like, man, I don't want to choose me today. I just want to choose this bed for another 15 minutes and hit snooze.
There's a couple things. One, technology, and two, mentally. So I guess the first one, mentally, is my whole life was built with that. I was just like burning the candle at both ends, right? Work, party, live life. But I wasn't taking time for me. And then when you're faced with something where every single day, you feel like you have 10,000 pounds of weight on your body, you'll do anything anything to remove 9,000 of those pounds, right? Like that's what it feels like on a day-to-day basis. And so I trial error, and I would make 10 steps forward, 9 steps back, 10 steps forward, 9 steps back. But then I've gotten to a point this past year where I'm done with that person who I was before, because I choose this life 10 out of 10 times. So that is me. And then another thing is technology. I have an 8 sleep in my bed. It vibrates to wake me up. It gets hot and cold, but it vibrates to wake me up. And so what I do is I put my phone in the other room, because I physically have to go to my phone to turn the alarm off of my bed. So by the time I get there, I am not going to go back and lay down. It's just not going to happen. I just can't. Also, I put my phone right next to a mirror, so I see myself when I'm grabbing it, and I just don't want to see myself walk back to that bed.
It's a little bit of shame.
Yeah, for sure.
The walk of shame.
It is. And these are just things that I've learned along the year. It hasn't been perfect. It's been up and down, up and down. It's life and business and all of that. But if you stay consistent, you will see it through. And if anyone listening to this is dealing with MS or anything like that, please reach out to me on social media, whatever it is, and I'll give you any advice that I possibly can.
For sure. We're going to have all the show notes, all the links to do that.
With this podcast or our show, it's Living a Profitable Life show. We're going to bring you so many great guests and lessons and teaching. So it's really is wonderful to have our partners, sponsors that helping us make this possible for everyone. But it is you who are going to make us better. So I'm asking you to always comment and let me know, how was this episode? Was it helpful? What else would you like to learn? What else would you like to see? It's predicted within the next few years, this industry, this beautiful beauty industry around the world is going to be growing by 8 to 10% incremental. That means opportunities to grow, to develop, to anything you want to be in this world. The thing is, the more you subscribe and share it with your friend, the more I can make this podcast be the best place for you. Any subject that you find is necessary, let us know. So please subscribe and help us get to at least 1,000 downloads. Once we get there, we'll celebrate.
But it's true. It's a consistency. It's all consistency.
Yes.
And even if you one day do decide to stay in bed for 15 minutes, Nicole, maybe it's a day we say, hey, let's stay in bed for the whole goddamn day. And it's okay to even say that, as long as you get back on the horse and you don't because what does it take? It takes 2 weeks to start building a habit and 3 days to kill a habit. So that's what it is. And 90 days to keep the habit going, and 120 days to make it your regular routine life.
For sure.
So,
I do want to say something. Sorry for cutting you off. This is Monday through Friday what I do. On the weekends, one of the days I work out, but I sleep in on the weekends. I am not up at 5:45 because it's balance, right? It has to be balanced. I'm not sleeping until 2:00, but I'll sleep until like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning on the weekends. It's just, So I just want to say life is about balance.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. I have not seen the balance yet, but yeah. So these are all really good gems for everybody who's listening to us. One of the things that I spoke to Robert just before we got on is that with with all the life that challenge us as an entrepreneur, as a company, and as a business, it seems like from the outside, many times it seems like this is just, many see your success today, but really don't understand the full journey that it takes to be here. Behind every thriving beauty empire or any kind of a company, there's often a story of literally a personal transformation. And how has building your company reshaped who you really are as a person? From your daily habits, the relationship to how and to the purpose that you have.
That's a big question.
It's a
But
big
I'll say,
It's a good
since I met Brock almost 14 years ago, I've learned the gift to myself of giving of myself and helping someone else create a future that will hopefully carry on the legacy of my purpose. So now, with the team that we have, everyone understands clearly who we are, why we exist, who we serve, what that service even means, like to the level of humanity, and what our future vision is. So we're thinking collectively about what our next 5 years is going to look like, and we have it pretty well mapped out for assumption of responsibilities, of introduction of new products, leveraging what we know to become greater in the future. So that over the last almost 14 years, I've become a better person.
Hmm.
Thank you.
What about you, Barack?
Over the last 14 years,
I get
Robert changed my life.
yeah. Well, how been in your position as a chief marketing officer of Ergo, and going through the tough and the good and the bad and the ugly has reshaped you as a human?
For sure. It definitely has. I mean, I would not be here today without this man sitting right next to me. 14 years ago, when I first got into the industry, I did not know what I was doing with my life. I mean, I was working at Nordstrom's, and in a kind of quick story, I'm working at Nordstrom's, and this gentleman and a beautiful blonde come walking into my department. I never thought about hair ever in my entire life, and they come up to me and introduce themselves, and I'm helping them out. And while I'm helping Robert up find a jacket, his wife Marlene grabs my arm and goes, "You have a great tattoos. You make a great arm model for us." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "We own a professional hairstyling tool company, and for some of our campaigns, we like people with cool tattoos holding our brushes and blow dryers." And I honestly didn't think too much of it, but as I'm ringing him up, he reaches in the back pocket, hands me his business card, and that one business card would go on to change my entire life. So I put the business card in my pocket, didn't think much of it. 2 weeks comes and goes, and I end up giving him you guys still there? Okay, I ended up giving him, sorry, I ended up giving him a call after the holidays, and we start talking on the phone, and he starts telling me a little bit about the industry and everything like that, and invites me to a hair show, the International Salon and Spa Expo in Long Beach. He goes, "In a few weeks, I'd like for you to come check it out, hang out with my team." And I was like, sure, why not? Honestly, I had nothing I was doing with my life at the current moment. So checking out a hair show, no idea what it is, but I'll come and hang. So a few weeks passes, I hop in my car, I drive down to Long Beach, like an hour away. And at that time, my brain was thinking like the hair industry is Sam's Cuts, Super Clips, that, right? I didn't know there was this whole big, amazing industry. And so I go inside, I get my pass, and you got to go down these escalators to go into the main convention. And I take one step inside, and it's just people all tatted up, dressed in black, just like 30, 40,000 people, however many thousand people were there, just like a world I'd never seen on the stage, who I didn't know who he was, but I do know now. It was like a rock star, like 300 people in the crowd. And I was like, what the heck is this? I have no idea. I ended up making my way to the Ergo booth, which was in the back. And
A 10 by 10.
It was a small 10 by 10. It was a small booth back then. And I ended up meeting some of my greatest friends and the most influential person in my life. And I wrapped up that day, and Robert said, give me a call tomorrow. I'd like to share with you a little bit more about the hair industry. And so I get home and I give him a call the next day, and we just start talking. And he goes, when I was roughly around your age, I was working for Sassoon, and they offered me to take a paid sabbatical, right? For me to go to cosmetology school, and I turned it down. He goes, I'd like to offer you an internship at my company, but you got to go to cosmetology school. And I was like, I don't know, we'll think about it. And so, I thought about it, and I was like, I have nothing else going with my life. So I ended up going to Cosmo school. I entered in the shipping department at Ergo 14 years ago, and it changed my entire life. I mean, this man right here never gave up on me when I think a lot of people would have. I mean, I'm in my early 20s. I'm partying, living a life, just doing all this crazy stuff, not really knowing who I am. But slowly but surely, he stuck with me and worked with me and worked with me. And I just I started doing hair. Obviously, after I graduated, I was doing education for the company. And then just like a little bit more. And then I wanted to start focusing on the business side of things. And he started allowing me to help out with like social media and little things like that. And then flash forward 14 years later, I'm not behind the chair anymore, but I am the chief marketing officer. And it's for Robert and Marlene. They never gave up on me, and I owe them everything. So I think that's really important. And that kind of shows like we've been able to, he's not technically my father, but I consider him like my second father. He's always been there for me like that. And I'm very blessed.
That is so nice to hear. So for all of those listeners that are running a company, they would love to have a Barack and Robert relationship, to have that amazing relationship between, I would say, a CEO and a leadership position where you guys are obviously together, you're growing and you're scaling the company. And so how does it look like on a daily, on a weekly, as far as putting in the work together? Can you share with everyone, what does it take to work? What does it take to run a company like that? What does it take to be successful? What does it take to go through some great launches and not good launches, some tough times and good times? What does it take to work these days, on a daily, weekly, monthly?
Yeah.
And I just want to interject before we even go there and say, today, a lot of today's, I would say, generation of today, they put a value on a lot of different things that I didn't used to put a value on. Like back when I was working, for me a value was work ethic. Like I was just working all the time. I love working all the time, and there's just no boundaries to work. And I think that the generation of today, and that started with the millennials, they were looking for more of a quality of life. They're, that's when the perfect 4 days work week came about. And so I'd love to know from your end view, Barak, and then from your perspective, Robert, what does it take to make sure that the company is thriving?
Interesting.
I'll just say initially, you and I are from the same generation, although I'm a couple decades ahead of you. But we think alike because
anybody's couple of decades ahead of me.
I think about the business all the time, and I really enjoy working 7 days a week because my office now is 2 miles from my home, and it gives me that flexibility to come over here when the building is quiet and do some of my most creative thinking and do my research for things I want to present to the team. But we have, over the past couple of years, become quite disciplined in making sure that we spend time together. And in that time that we spend together, every other week, we have a team meeting. Everyone comes to the team meeting prepared to speak about a specific topics and what they're doing to support the company and what the company needs to do to support them. And so having some disciplined structure is really important, because dealing with a family member, everything might be taken jokingly or aside or with some form of aggravation, but we don't have any of that ego here. We've been able to, through everyone's engagement and responsibility, everyone feels like they have a voice, and we hear it.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. That's the ego and feeling like you have a voice. I think that's when working, just to talk about the family thing real quick, is I understand that some family-run businesses can be very contentious, and it can be hard. And with any business, it has its ups and downs with anyone and everyone. But here at Ergo, since we are a family affair, I think the big thing is the ego that gets pushed to the side. And the next thing is that we all have a voice. It doesn't matter if it's Robert saying something or Zach or Tyler or even Ron, whoever it is. Like, if it's a good idea, we're going to listen. And if it's not, then we're going to talk about it. We're not going to scream. We're not going to yell. No, none of that type of family dynamic. So we're very open and honest with each other. But it works. And I know how fortunate we are, because I know some family-run businesses have their issues. But
we are a constructed family.
Yes.
So Brock is not my son, though I treat him as I would my own son. Yeah. But collectively, over the years, Brock has brought in his second cousin, Zach, to become our chief experience officer. He's brought in his wife's brother to become our community manager. And we're just, sometimes even Brock's wife, Alyssa, helps out in our shipping department and in our trade shows. So we've built this family, but while we are very tight, we're also professional with each other.
Yes.
And respect is a very important word here for what people do to serve the company and to serve its customers, and also in serving each other.
It's important.
Yeah. And so do you guys spend, like, you have boundaries on time, like 9 till 5, or, when you go away on events, you're spending a lot of time together, but you're also working a lot on these. So do you have any, guides or boundaries that the staff has on, in order to have just a really some time for themselves, or time off, or that type of relationships?
Of course. Yeah, it's not like everyone takes vacations, and sometimes they're together and sometimes they're not. But just like your hat, we get shit done. So we're not working 24. This man might be working 24 hours a day, but the beautiful thing with technology is that at any time and anywhere, we can handle and deal with things. And we work really well together.
Right, so we work remotely. We have one of our, Tyler Robite, our community manager, is going to be running the marathon in Amsterdam in September. So he's going to be working remotely. Yeah. And we understand what that looks like. And Brock took a trip to Europe last year with Alyssa, and yet everything ran very smoothly because we had the respect for each other. We kept to a discipline of communication. So, but we do also get together when we reimagined our space after our fire. We put in, it's like a 2,000-inch TV set on the wall here. And, we watch special events, and we just recently had a pizza and boxing party, and pretty soon to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of recovering from our fire. Our team doesn't know where they're going, but Brock and I have arranged to take them out on a trip into a beautiful ranch to have a meal prepared for them under the moon.
Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing, though, is we all we're very close. We're friends as well outside of this, so we hang out a lot. That's the beautiful part. It's it's not just work. It's so much more than that.
Yeah, and I think that's where it comes down to. It's a mixture of things. I mean, like I just spent, I don't know, it's like 5 days with Nicole, and I know it's unique, but there's a reason why I'm bringing it up, because it is fortunate that you guys have that relationship between the two of you. You have the trust relationship, the respect, but you also enjoy one another. And how critical is it to work with people that you enjoy to work with one another, that you don't mind doing something personal, good, bad, and ugly. And I think that's important, that people will know that when you do recruit or hire anyone to your staff member, you kind of look at who you hire and say, can I actually spend time personally with that person?
That's such a good point. Yeah, because we have such a big social life beyond work, and we are hanging out a lot outside of work as well. So it's important. The culture is very strong here, and
when we're hanging out as people.
Yeah.
When we're working together as a team.
Yeah. That's good.
Wow, that's a good one too. I love that. Now, couple of little things as we wrapping up. I want to talk about the product itself, Ergo, the brushes themselves. And for anyone out there, I don't know if you still run this way, because that's how it was when I owned, a salon. For me, it was such a great partnership, because not only that these are, to my opinion, the best brushes out there, for many reasons, but also for the support that you give a salon when they do come involved with that. I remember you used to send us great support on educating how to blow dry, because I think that's one of the hardest thing these days, to teach any of a new talent or regular talent how to finish hair, how to style hair, how to hold the brush, and how to make the hair looks beautiful in a quick time. So, do you guys still support as salons that way?
Yes, and because I'm respectful of the time we have left with you today, and I promise I can wrap this up in another 30 minutes. That is, here at Ergo, we know that everything begins with someone becoming an Ergo lover, experiencing the value of using our tools, the results they get through using our tools. But we also have a path, and the path has been mapped out based upon salon owner and stylist feedback about what's most important to them. And they have different areas that are important to them. Of course, doing quality work is always important, but for salon owner, it's about how do you fund education? How do you take back a category that's been lost to beauty supplies and Ultas and different
Yes.
locations? So it all begins with someone becoming an Ergo lover. If it's for a stylist, we serve them by introducing them to how to master the tool. That may be through our in-salon hands-on education called The Art of the Blow Dry. For salon owner, it's having a serious business discussion about the opportunity in helping them discover ways to take back the styling tool category from the web, funding the education that they know they need, that their stylists improve from. So we create a strategy of a launch period that begins with someone loving an Ergo brush, having a serious business discussion, introducing a strategy, because everyone here at Ergo knows nothing great happens by accident. It's always by creating a strategy, training to the strategy, implementing the strategy, measuring the strategy, and then revising the strategy, because nothing lasts, no good strategy lasts forever.
Right.
So that's really our purpose.
I love it. That is awesome.
This episode is sponsored by Vish, the smartest color management system for profitable salons. Vish tracks your color usage, reduces waste, and helps you charge accurately. for all color services so you can protect your profit and grow with confidence. You know that we are all about profit and how we live a profitable life of course, by design. You can definitely make it so easily, and I've seen it, the actual results on the P&L. Vish makes it happen. Now join thousands of salons using Vish to scale smarter. Head to getvish.com and see the difference for yourself. This episode is sponsored by Forest Salon Software, the all-in-one solution designed to help salon, spa, med spa owners really deliver with confidence and really design and drive their company to success. Forest isn't just a booking system. It is your machine that will help you grow your company with smart marketing and real-time reporting, staff performance tracking, and world-class support. And I mean world-class support, because I wouldn't even recommend Forest if they didn't have a world-class support. Now, so whether you're scaling to 7 figures or streamline your operation or need to fix things and tighten things up, Forest can help you make smarter decisions and deliver the luxury experience that your clients and your members really need. If you're ready for a software that is all in and grows with you and support you for a truly team-run company, just visit forest.com and discover why thousands of salons trust Forest. And mention Salon Cadence and you'll get a perk. I think we're going to be wrapping up. So are you guys ready for our rapid questions, everyone?
Go.
Yes. Fire away.
Do you want me to do it, Ronit?
Well, I love that. Sure.
Well, I was waiting to hear if Robert was going to end his part with another acronym, because I think today's segment was going to be DOB, but we got the P, 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 and then we've got, what else do we have, Robert?
3 rules of life?
Yeah.
The 3 rules of life. It's get shit done, shit happens, shit will happen to you. You got to get over the shit. Was I close?
Close.
Shit.
Good job, Nicole.
Overarching shit. Okay, great. How many times are we going to say that in this podcast? All right, so let me see. Robert, Robert, what would you say is your superpower other than creating acronyms?
Thinking backwards.
Thinking backwards. Okay, great. Brock?
Empathy.
Ooh, okay, guys. Let's see. If you could have a billboard anywhere in the world, what would it say, Robert?
That's a tough one. I'm just trying to make it into not too many words for a billboard, but being a hairdresser is one of the greatest professions in the world.
I love that. Brock?
One I'm not going to say, but something similar, get shit done. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
Perfect. What is your definition of success, Robert?
Having people say thank you.
Love that. Brock?
What is ask the question one more time.
What is your definition of success?
Just having amazing friends, family, coworkers.
People to share life with.
Yeah, for sure.
Love that. So I've got 2 more left. Robert, if you could summarize, or you know what? Actually, I'm going to start with Brock on this one. Brock, if you could summarize your biggest failure and what you learned from it. What did it teach you? Tough one.
Well, I guess work-wise, right? Or
in general, it can be whatever.
No. Let's see. All right. Ask the question one more time, and I think I can do it.
What was your biggest failure, and what did it teach you?
Oh wow. I just don't know how much I can say on here. Robert, can you answer first, and then I
put you on the hot seat. Okay, Robert, go for it.
The same question?
Yeah.
Same question.
I think that let me rephrase that. What is my biggest regret and what has it taught me?
Okay.
When I had the honor of working with Vidal Sassoon in the late '70s, he offered me the opportunity to take a year sabbatical, a paid sabbatical, to go to cosmetology school at the Sassoon Academy in Westwood, California. I told him I was too busy.
Mm.
For that reason, I'm not able to have the joy of what a hairdresser is able to deliver to their guest, which is making them feel beautiful inside as they've created beauty outside. So that is my single biggest professional regret.
And so what did it teach you to say yes,
Grasp the moment.
grasp the moment?
Take on the opportunities.
Brock, do you feel more prepared?
I'm just going to do a work one and then, let's just keep it simple. So we were launching the Astronaut of Hope, and I was I was rushing through it. I didn't get samples made. I was just so excited to do something new. I didn't take the time to just kind of slow down because I was, and honestly, what happened was I should have asked Robert and the manufacturer, I need more time. But I was just trying to rush something through. And when it came back, we had all the boxes created and the brushes inside of them. And as soon as we got them, I was like, this is not it. Like, it's just not it. And so then I had to go to Robert and be like, you got to give me more time. So I had to get the packaging redesigned. Then I had to get the packages created. And then they had to ship out the boxes out here. And then I had to hire a team of people, our team, to repackage the brushes. And in that moment, I was moving too fast, and I allowed my ego to get the best of me, not saying, you know what, this isn't right. I need more time, and just talk to Robert. I was just trying to move through something so quickly, and that is not the right way to do things.
It's okay. Look at what you've become as a result of that.
Thank you. It's turned out really well.
Very powerful. Thank you for that, both of you.
We have mistaken our way to the top.
No, you were prepared.
At least for me, maybe not for him.
No. So, by the way, I am Ergo years old. I'm 31 years old.
Oh, I love that.
So happy birthday, Ergo. Do you guys have any exciting opportunities or things that you want to share with the audience as we wrap up today? Well, that's my last question, I promise.
Okay. Well, August 4th, when's this coming out?
It's going to be probably a month before this one comes out.
Well, I'll say it now. I guess it'll be a little bit after. But August 4th, we're bringing back the Astronaut of Hope collection. We're very excited. It's the all pink brushes. We have something really special. We're 3-brush box. It's called the Hope Collection. It's of our ER53, ER43, and ER1000. It's the first time we've ever done anything like this. 3 brushes and one beautiful packaging, and you purchase them all together. Normally we have bundles, but nothing in a box like this. And then our crimpless clips, they're pink. And I'm really just excited all around about the Astronaut of Hope series. $5 from every brush sold gets donated to the Hair to Stay Foundation, which they help people going process of chemo pay for their scalp cooling treatments. And it's just been the most powerful and all around amazing experience that I've been a part of at Ergo Styling Tools. Just being able to give back and do something for other people. Handing that check last year to Hair to Stay was awesome. That's going to be even more this year. Just giving back and being part of something really special is awesome. So, yeah.
That's great. And for anybody who wants to learn anything about Hair to Stay Foundation, we're going to have it in the show notes. But this has been really great. So what did you guys donate last year? How much did you donate?
It was $15,000, and we're definitely going to be doing more this year. So because we only do a limited run of them, which is great. So it's a lot of money. It helped. 15.
Well, we'll make sure we're going to raise money with you guys this year too.
Thank you.
Yes, I love that. And Brock, is it running for just a period of time or just until you run out of product?
We run out. So we'll probably have them for like 8 weeks or so.
Okay.
But they'll sell out quickly. So we're excited. So when this goes live, they might be all sold out, but we'll see. Either
At
way,
least
we're just very
had
excited.
the opportunity to share the values of your company. So thank you guys for what you do. Thank you for being here. Ronit, was there anything you wanted to wrap us up with?
No, I think this was great. I love all the stories for anybody who's growing, their companies. What does it take to go through tough times, and that you are just like everyone else. You're no different. We all go through the bad, the good, and the ugly. And in order to be profitable, if we want to live in a profitable life, it takes more than two to tango, right? So everything was here today was a great jam. So thank you for that, guys.
Thank you. I'd like to extend an invitation to your audience for 2026 to see we're going to be going through another evolution and serving our industry in another way. Come visit us at America's Beauty Show in April in Chicago. And the premiere show is going to take place in Orlando in June. We're going to be expanding physically our space, and we're going to be expanding how we serve the industry. So we can't wait to reveal that to you.
We have some very exciting things coming down the pipeline. Very, very.
Yeah, we're excited to see it.
We're excited.
Can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we
Thank
always
you,
like to say in
guys.
closing, let the shine be with you.
And get the shit done.
Let the shine. Get shit done.
Shit
Get
done.
shit done.
We'll get the shit done.
Nicole, you want to just pause it?
Let's let
Yeah.
it shine.